So YouTube and X, it's your main man BTM here, bringing you back to the BTM Crypto News Network. In this video, we're talking about Zebec, and I was going to get on earlier, and things were looking pretty good, but lately Zebec is down big. But the good thing is, it's coming down for us to pick it up. Because as the video says, this is one of the hottest RWAs currently in crypto. So I guess bringing it down is a good thing, right? So if you were thinking, or if you wanted to get in, now would be a very good time because it is one of the few coins that is not up. So I was just trying to see if anybody knew or saw anything or had a reason why Zebec would be down. I've been looking and researching, trying to figure out what exactly is going on here. And I was in a meeting earlier, so I didn't get a lot of prep time. But I'm just going to go through what we currently have and see what we can see. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to figure something out real quick. Trying to open up a couple of videos just so we'll have a little further in the discussion and see if there are anything we can add. But again, Zebac's going to bounce back, right? This is when you want to get in when it is down. And it's been pumping like crazy. So some people might be new to crypto or might not fully understand how crypto works or stocks in general. But in order to pull away, it's got to pull back, right? Before it can take all the way off, it's going to have to pull back, right? It can't keep going up and up and up and up. At some point, people are taking profits or people are selling, or maybe there's an announcement. I'm not 100% sure yet. So I was checking to see. Really wanted to go live to see what I can see, or if you guys know or saw anything. But let me see here. Let me start the screen share. See if we can turn the spotlight on. Can Zebec go to 50 cents this cycle realistically? And actually, I'm glad you brought that up. Cardale. Let me see. I thought I had something I was going to give. So I think 10 cents, trying to see where this market cap would be. Possibly could get to 10 cents. People are saying maybe 50 cents would be kind of a long shot, but I think it can get to 10 cents. Um, 50 cents. My bad. 70 cents would be a long shot. But people are saying it could get to $1, right? It took what was that? XRP took off that first from what was that? Like 100 million market cap, almost to like 600 million, almost to a billion before the lawsuit started. So it can easily run from what was that? 0.005 up through 10 cents, right? In a week, right? It's not even a big deal. And from there, if it keeps pumping, my thing would be if it does pump hard, it's going to be a serious pullback because people who got in early are going to sell. So if we see here, this is the 4-hour chart. You see the RSI is down in the 40s. The RSI base moving average is 50s. Had a MACD cross when we've been losing volume consistently. And if we look at the 1-hour chart, looks like 1-hour chart's got a green candle. RSI is coming back. Wow, that's weird. It dipped down and came back up. The moving average is still flat. Looked like we were close to a MACD cross, but we are still losing volume on the 1 hour. 45 minutes. Looks like the RSI is going back down again. RSI-based moving average is pretty flat, and we're still red candles. I mean, yeah, we're still losing volume. Had a MACD cross and came down. There was a green candle, and looks like another red candle. It's on the 45 minute. Let's check the 15 minute. And we can zoom in a little bit. 15 minute is still holding strong on that support at the 005. Looks like on the 15 minute, there's a couple green candles. RSI is coming up. RSI base moving average is still very low, and we're losing volume on the 15 minute, but looks like we're building volume. Had a MACD cross. RSI is coming up, got a couple green candles, so it might start to pull back up. I don't know. I'm not really 100% sold on TA because you can never really predict anything with TA because it is always part of investors, right? You can't really tell what the mass investors do, but it is a good indication about how things are running. And people are hating hard on Zebec. It's weird. It's like whenever something pumps that's not their token, you get a lot of hate out of nowhere for no reason. And I'm not even sure why people hate Zebec so much. But what I was going to show you was where is this guy? This guy is, where is he? This guy is tripping me all the way out. It was a live stream a couple of days ago. A man was playing We Are the Champion for like 6 hours. So if that doesn't drive you over to the project, I don't know what you guys are looking at, right? Where is the, here we go. Is this him? No, this is that guy, not him. Wow, somebody else is live. Is this him? No. Da, da, da. This guy. Yeah, so 50,000 strong. He live streamed. Oh, I guess that is him. I mean, he's live streaming now. Interesting. This guy's been on a freaking marathon of live streaming. I'm looking for one in particular before we get into the numbers. Dang it, where did it go? I don't know, but I checked. You know, I'm always looking at Zebec to figure out kind of where people's um, s- sentiment is. Where is that line? Here, is this it? 4 days ago. Where's the one from yesterday? Is this it? I gotta play this because this absolutely fully inspired me. If this is it, let me see.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome.
Is this him?
Going out at the end.
Okay, this is him, but this ain't
Pins
it.
guitar. You must watch.
I don't know, but the guy was playing literally live stream music for hours talking about Zebec. Man, you can't buy that kind of. This might be it. You can't buy that kind of publicity, guys. This guy was literally live streaming music for hours. This is, I don't know where. That's weird. I can't find it now. And I thought I had it saved. That's weird. Yeah, no, I just wanted to point that out, but I guess I can't find it. We'll have to come back. Where is it? Okay, we're kind of losing time. So I guess I keep it moving because this guy was hilarious. Is this him? It was like a band. Maybe it's not him, but it was like a band and he's playing music and singing songs and crazy, right? Just crazy. And that's the kind of thing you want on your project. Someone that's going all out and getting crazy. Let me check the chat. I don't talk over at 50 Cent. Realistically, appreciate your answer my question. The show is hit like button. Yeah, definitely hit the like button, share, and subscribe. See if we can find this. What did he say, Cardell? I said 10 cents definitely doable. 50 cents is possible. It depends on possible. 50 cents might be a long shot. Yeah, it depends on this channel is 24/7. Yeah, that guy was all the way on. Here's a campaign to make Zebec $1. He has several. Yeah, this guy's got songs and it's him. Okay, okay. The guy has songs and was playing. I mean, I just literally, I don't know, was scrolling through Facebook. I'm tripping. Scrolling through YouTube, and I happened to come across this guy, and he's literally singing songs. Why can't I find the video now? He's literally singing songs and streaming like crazy. I think this is, and he had a live preview of what he was going to do. I'm like, man, this
Good
is great.
morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to
This
Martin
is great.
Lucas
This is totally
Investor.
awesome. This guy's
Got a big surprise
definitely committed
today.
to the
We're
cause,
getting very
right?
excited. Zebec is on the move
Let me see
again.
if I can turn the volume up a little bit.
We've got something to celebrate, and we're going to bring it to a whole new world. So what we're going to do is here on the investor channel, I've given you a link, which is right at the top of the comments. It's pinned to the comments. In 29 minutes from now, I'm going to be live on the event channel,
Play
my
this for a
music
second.
channel, where we had our Zebec party on
Oh,
Friday with a
so it's
special
another
celebration
channel. Okay,
of
okay.
5,000 Zebec investor followers now on X. The army is getting stronger. We had over 7,000 join us live for the Zebec party on Friday. You see this event here? You asked to do it again, but this time we're going to reach even more new investors looking for. It was just an announcement on the main channel.
So literally, how can you lose if you guys have a guy that's streaming 24/7 pumping Zebec, right? That was one of the other things I was kind of excited about the project for. And let me see. This will start with the bubbles. You can see here Zebec is down 18.4%, but Zebec is up 17% on the week and 226% on the month. This little 18% pullback is nothing, right? You can see here, even on the chart, the week chart, you can barely even tell, right? This is here, and this is where the 006, it came down for us to pick it up on the month chart. It was the 006, and it was the 001 less than a month ago, right? This kind of pop doesn't happen a lot, right? We're at a 455.7 mil won market cap, pushing up to 500 mil, and maybe the Billy within the next month or two would not be a big deal, right? Wouldn't be something crazy unheard of. And I want to say White was pumping, and even White's down. So it might just be people had FOMO'd in, they made a couple bucks, and they're dropping it. But that is nothing to be concerned about. And this is Zebec partnering with Spectre AI. And if you get a chance, go to this, log in, and play around with it. This is next level crypto research stuff, right? This information all in one place. It tells you the people posting. You got the volume, you got the market cap, you got the price. The interface is great, right? And you got this. I hadn't even been playing around with it long enough to understand what this is even showing us, right? This is exchanges, I think. Let's see why was this? But whoever created this put some time in it, right? They didn't just throw something together, right? So this shows you project tweets. I thought these were exchanges. Capital Bank. This ain't what I saw yesterday. So this is Science Card. It's showing you the followers for the Science Card uh, X page. This is Hasselback. Why is Hasselback on here? Capital Block, Ripple, CoinGecko. So it kind of shows you the whole ecosystem, which I thought was awesome too. And I made a video about that, so you can check that video out as well. And I guess we'll go to the holders. So you can see here on holder scan, there's 74,289. And Turbo has huge success, and it's only at 50,000 holders. These ZN, ZBCN is pumping like crazy. Look at the holder volume here, right? These guys added 1,433 on one day, right? The excitement for this project is crazy astronomical. You can see here in the last 4 hours, it's up 53 holders, 12 hours, 233 a day, 820, 3 days, 2,478, 7 days, 14,827. 14 days, 22,881. And for the last month, it's almost up 30,000 holders, 26.4. Even if these guys are doing $5, bro, that is serious market cap within a month, right? So I just wanted to throw that out there. It is one of the top projects currently. Don't forget to sign up for the BTM Crypto News Network. Trying to keep you guys updated and current with all the trends and everything that's going on. So this is the Solana Hub, top biggest depend projects on Solana by market cap. So by market cap, you got Helium with the miners. I'm not even sure what Grassy is, but Zebec Network, IONET, Hive Mapper. So most of these are RWAs, and they are applications that have tokens involved in a project. Like the Hive Mapper, I think you get tokens for help mapping, like driving around. The Helium network is going to be infused with cell phone towers or something I was reading. I don't know. Zebec, is doing the credit card and is going to be able to do the processing for cryptos to real world assets, and also that payroll with streaming. That is freaking awesome, right? Just from the sheer announcement, it's been on fire, right? And once people start, I think Japan picked it up. Once other places start using that, and you can hear or see a streaming check, everybody's going to want that, right? You telling me your friends are getting their check streamed so they always have money and they're working? You think HR services and payroll systems aren't going to jump all over that? Mainly because everybody got it, right? You can't not have this option and everybody else got it, right? It's just going to spread like wildfire. Once this starts happening and people realize you can do this, I think that's one of the biggest reasons I'm very bullish on the project. And there's also other utilities they're working on. Top 3 trending altcoins. And you can see here, what's that? NAS 10? I don't know what that is. Cubic. Oh, man. And ZBCN, Zebec. You've been holding Cubic for a long time, and now it's trending. This is Crypto Crony, I guess. Crypto Chrono. Decentralized Web3 platform Ripple, Stellar, and Zebec are positioning to transform payments space by addressing limitations of traditional payment systems to combine technology and finance seamlessly, paving the way for a new era of frictionless global payments. Web3 marks ongoing systematic transformation, enabling through digital finance. An estimated 80% of global financial leaders are aiming to use crypto. And I seen an article where, what was that? Bank of America urged all their holders to buy Bitcoin. So the crypto adoption, after being suppressed for years and years, after these people got out of office, it is pretty much full speed ahead, guys. And I don't see no stopping it, right? I mean, I don't know why people are nervous about it to begin with, right? People saying scams, there's scams and everything. People say use it for money laundering. They use the banks for money laundering. Nobody's shutting the banks down. But I think there is a small amount of FUD coming from financial institutions to slow the process down, right? So they can catch up and get in the game. Kind of like they did with XRP and the lawsuits, just long enough for these guys to develop their own token. And now everyone's talking about tokens in ETFs, which was perfect timing, right? These guys didn't let crypto go too far out, but they were just in time for the banks and the rest of the financial industry to get their foothold on the market so they didn't get completely shut out, right? They're still behind, but they have some leverage now. Still number two, most searched on Coinbase. Imagine the money on the table sitting there waiting to jump on board. Most searched asset on Coinbase. Zebec Network is number two at 14,000 searches, right? People are looking for Zebec more than they're looking for Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum, and White Rock. And it is only 3,000 behind XRP. So I wonder if there was actually an update. This is from earlier. I think now it's probably might be number one or a lot closer, right? So as the word gets out and people start FOMOing in, because if you notice, the retail investors aren't even back yet, right? Your mom's sister's boyfriend's barber is not pushing Zebec Church yet, right? Once people FOMO in, I mean, there's interest because Bitcoin's been running crazy, but as people really get into crypto, like I guess you were when you first started using crypto, you see there's money to be made, and you started coming over and you started asking questions. And then you started to look and notice, okay, I can't get Bitcoin, probably not going to make any money with Ethereum. What small coin is out here that can make me a multimillionaire? Which, in fact, probably not going to make you a multimillionaire, but people are looking for that kind of option. And when they go to Twitter and they see people talking about it, they go to Coinbase, they see people talking about it, they're going to start researching the stuff they can afford and the stuff they understand, right? They're going to see memes, and most people are not going to invest in memes, right? Only us and degents and people that are risk takers are going to go for memes. People with real um, low tolerance for risk are going to find something that will make money and has low risk. So, top 10 tokens by market cap on Solana. And wow, White's already at a billion? Shut the front door. Radium 697 Milwan. Hint is 626. Let me make this a little bigger. Can't even see this. And you can see here, little old ZBCN at 504 million, up 262.8. There's only one other thing here, up 200%, and they have a partnership. White Rock is working with ZBCN. So it's probably the same investors in both, invested in both of these guys. So this is a warning. So shout out to Deepa. Deepa's always giving information about Zebec. So there is this guy that is using, let's see, unleash the power of AI wealth creation, blueprint, turning dreams into reality, embracing the future, unlock your limitless potential today. So this guy, beware of the coin claiming to be part of ZBCN, part of the Zebec Network. Uh, it is nowhere associated with Zebec Network. If you follow and get rug, it's on you. ZBCN is the only community be on alert. And I think this is ZB, is it ZBE something? But that's another positive thing, right? When people start mocking and making spin-off coins and try to profit on top of your token, that means the token's going in the right direction, right? This guy's obviously trying to spin or pull some of the momentum from Zebec. I think it is ZBE or something. I don't know. I don't know what you guys looking for. I'm not even going to go to that, but just be wary. Zebec Network is ZBCN. If it ain't ZBCN, it ain't part of the Zebec. Don't buy it. This is current holders are growing to 74,000, and that was 8 hours ago. Currently, it is 74,298. And we'll refresh this real quick. Oh, wow. 74,493. So this was posted 8 hours ago, so maybe yesterday. So within a day, pretty much, Zebec has picked up almost 500 holders, right? 3 days, 2,000 holders. So the rush is still in. And if it's down 15%, if it comes back to where it was, you're going to make a small little 15% profit on what you already were planning to buy anyway, right? And this is from the Zebec. They have a lot of AMH, right? And I need to start listening to them and keeping up. We acquired Science Card to power the next wave of real world financial infrastructure, starting with education. With deep ties to UK universities, Science Card brings mission driven finance that aligns with your vision. And the Science Card,
Simon, what is Science Card?
who in the project came up with that, but this is ingenious, right? These are college kids that want to spend money anyway, and you get I think you get cash back for using your crypto, and there is a tie-in for the university being able to use the Zebec network. I think they get a percentage back on purchases, but it's actually pretty cool. But let's see what they're saying, actually. Let me run this back.
Simon, what is Science Card? Why did Zebec acquire them? What made this the right next move in this incredible narrative that we're watching play out before our own eyes?
We are super impressed with what Science Card has built over the past few years. They have a portfolio of the top universities in the UK, and their mission-driven finance program is a perfect fit with Zebec's own mission to build real-time and inclusive financial infrastructure for the world. So this acquisition has helped bolster our growing real-world user base, and it marks our first foray into the education vertical, which is a priority area for our growth in 2025 as we seek to expand from payroll and card payments into the $800 billion global tuition payments market.
Simon, what is Science Card? Why did Zebec acquire them? What made this the right next move in this incredible narrative that we're watching play out before our own eyes?
We are super impressed with what Science Card has built over the past few years. They have a portfolio of the top universities in the UK, and their mission-driven finance program is a perfect fit with Zebec's own mission to build real-time and inclusive financial infrastructure for the world. So this acquisition has helped bolster our growing real-world user base, and it marks our first foray into the education vertical, which is a priority area for our growth in 2025 as we seek to expand from payroll and card payments into the $800 billion global tuition payments market.
Simon,
So it's not as if they just got into payroll and got a pretty good lock on the payroll market. And they're also getting into the education market, which is an endless stream of revenue. Like you said, 800, we said 800 million. But the thing about education is people go to school all the time, right? It's not something that is, I don't know, recession building or uh, economy based, right? People are going to be in school no matter how bad the economy gets. People are going to be taking classes all the way up till the rapture, right? So it's a constant flow of money. So that's actually a pretty good uh, project or partnership, right? So this is ZDB Chain. I'm not even sure what this is, but they're partnering with them. ZB Chain is partnered with Zebec Network to integrate ZDB coins on its Zebec Black Card, facilitating streamless fiat off ramps and enhancing real world utility. ZDB also be integrated on the Zebec Silver and Carbon cards. This means seamless fiat on ramping, enhanced real world utility, future support for new tokens, including branded coins on the RWA real world assets. The future of crypto payments just got a major upgrade. So, with that being said, this is a good partnership in the right direction. Again, for Zebec, these guys seem to be doing everything right. So, this is that video, I think it's
Zebec has
yesterday,
officially
about
joined Spectre AI's blockchain dashboard, offering a new perspective for those looking to understand the crypto landscape. Imagine trying to navigate a vast, unfamiliar city without a map. That's how many feel when diving into the world of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. But now, with ZBCN integrated into Spectre AI's dashboard, it's akin to having a GPS guiding you through the intricate streets of crypto. Zebec Network's ZBCN token, known for facilitating real-time financial transactions like streaming payrolls, is now embedded within Spectre AI's on-chain search engine. This integration allows users to observe live token movements, market activities, and performance metrics in a user-friendly interface. Think of it as watching a live traffic update before your commute. You're informed and prepared. For newcomers, this tool demystifies complex data, presenting it in an accessible manner. For seasoned users, it offers real-time insights to make informed decisions. This collaboration between ZBCN and Spectre AI isn't just a technical integration, it's a step towards making blockchain technology more approachable and understandable for everyone. Want more crypto videos? Check out my playlist. Remember,
shout out to who's this guy? Crypto Chrome. And this is the smart start, the start. Wait for the next announcement. And this was the thing I was wondering, what is the next announcement, right? What else is Spectre AI and Zebec working on? So let's see here. Bubbles coming back down. Let me see. Down 16% to 0.005. So it looks like RSI is coming up, ladies and gentlemen, on the 5-minute chart. Look at this volume coming back. Look at this RSI back in the 60s. We were just talking, and it was in the 40s. Even the RSI base moving average is up. So if it was oversold and the price was dropping, it appears to be turning back around. Got a couple green candles on the 15-minute chart. RSI is coming up as well at a MACD cross, and we're building volume again. 45-minute chart also shows the RSI coming up. 1 hour chart, same thing. But we saw it coming back up earlier, right? Got two green candles back at the 0.058. So it looks like it's going to push back up to the 0.006. So you can see here, volume was down. Let me check. What is this? Guess we can check the DEX screener, see what the volume's looking like there as well. But it appears to be can't keep a good crypto down long, huh? Let me see. What is this? What? Just trying to see what the volume looks like on the screener. So, 584.7 mil won market cap, 74,000 holders. You see here where it dropped. Now it is coming back up. So let's see what the actual volume is. What is this new? It seems to be selling, but these are shrimp. Are these shrimp? Yeah, so it's not really no big. $200, $8, 350. Somebody removed 300. Added 50, 51. Added 500. Somebody bought 1,000, 800, 300, 900, 300, 200, 400, 900. So it's still some. What is that? 21, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 9 o'clock. Actually, a couple months ago. So there's volume coming back, right? So it's not. No, this is shrimp. What is it? Is there any whale activity here? Fleas. When did they add the fleas? That's weird. Take the shrimp out. Um, take the fish out. So let's see what's really going on. Doesn't look like very many dolphins are sailing. Looks like they're adding. So I don't know if adding is coming from somewhere else or if you're transferring to another wallet. It doesn't see much selling on the dolphin and whale side, which means the price is going to come back up, right? Unless you got whales dumping, the price is not going to stay down long. But let's see what's going on here. Let me see. I wanted to check out a couple of videos.
When it comes to ZBCN, man, I'm very excited.
You know how we do. Let me see. Where's my video thing now? I guess we'll check out Lee. You know, people hate Lee for some reason, but he's pretty good for the most part. And Money and Me. I want to see if Money put up another video. Is the bull run over? Definitely not. Go Meow. Is that Meow? Yeah, definitely not Crypto Meow. Leader Captain are looking at that video. My main man BTM. I know that guy. Wow, nobody making videos. That was weird because lately it's been crazy. New GameStop price. And I was looking at this earlier. What is this GameStop information about? Guess we'll look at this guy and then add the GameStop. I think I already have GameStop up though. Let me see. What do you guys think? Do you think Zebec will bounce back?
A lot of them.
Or how long do you think it'll take Zebec to bounce back and start pumping again? A day? A couple hours?
Heard the rumors of GameStop. They seen the movement, and what did? They said, I'm getting in on this. So more money flowed into GameStop. Similar to, so what, how does that relate to today? We look at where crypto is today, guys. You look at us getting a pro crypto president. We got all of these things that's building up the crypto community right now. And we have a project, and which has a product and Zebec that doesn't need a whole lot of fluff. It's one of those things that's easy to understand. You tell someone this is going to revive payroll, but people are going to be paid around the clock. How much convincing does that take to explain to somebody? This is one that I borrowed this from Dr. Martin. on a 6th floor elevator ride, you can explain Zebec to someone, and by the top of the ride, they say, you know what? I'm going to get in on it.
What's up, ladies and gents? You know what time of day it is. It's Zebec time, and in today's video, we're going to be talking all about Zebec. We're going to be discussing what we are seeing here on the charts, and I'm going to be giving you guys my price prediction for Zebec over the coming days and weeks, as well as my targets for 2025. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. Of course, if you are a new viewer, then welcome to this channel. If you do like this sort of content, hit the like button and subscribe for more. If you are a returning viewer, as always, welcome back to the channel. It's great to have you here. So, of course, we're going to be diving straight into this video. We're first going to start off with Zebec, what we are seeing here on the charts. And of course, we are on the 1 hour at the moment. And what we've seen over the past few hours, not just for Zebec, but the whole crypto market, has been this drop. Now, of course, here on Zebec, we almost made a new all-time high there. However, we were just short of that high that we made at the end of May. And of course, we've seen a bit of a dive. If you take a look at the top right, we can see that most cryptos for today are in the red. And of course, one of the main reasons for that in general is because we are expecting a speech from Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, later today. Now, if you don't know who this guy is, he is the spokesperson for the Federal Reserve in the USA. And of course, he's a very important person for us here in crypto because he dictates the interest rate policies in the USA. And that basically has a direct impact on the prices here of crypto. And essentially, an ideal scenario for us is if this guy cuts the rates. Now, this isn't what this meeting is about. There's not going to be an interest rate decision today, but he's going to be speaking on the economy as a whole. And generally, he's been quite negative about the whole tariffs things. He's a bit uncertain on how that's going to affect inflation. So there hasn't been any rate cuts recently. But if he sounds more optimistic in this meeting, if he talks about inflation being at an acceptable level.
Well, I didn't even know that the Fed was meeting today or he had a speech today. That's crazy. And why is he talking today anyway if he's not having a interest announcement? I thought he only made um, meetings when they were talking about the interest rate.
Well, for example, if he's hinting at rate cuts sooner rather than later, then this could be extremely bullish, not just for Zebec, but pretty much every crypto you hold. So this is happening at 1 p.m. Eastern time, like I say. Definitely watch for the markets wherever you are in the world when this happens, because there could be some alpha in there, and we could expect there to be quite a bit of price movement depending on what he says. Now, on top of that as well, he met with Trump a little bit before making this video. And of course, we know that Trump is very pro rate cut. He really wants the rates to get cut because, in his opinion, that will stimulate the economy. And so we don't know whether that's had an impact on Jerome's stance, but if it has, that's going to be very good for the markets. So let's see what happens when that comes out. Of course, heading back onto the Zebec chart, the picture that I'm looking at the moment is something that looks a bit like this. Of course, since the 29th of May, the prices have been consolidating very, very nicely. And I personally think this still looks very bullish. Of course, we can draw this upper trend line going across a little bit like this. We've also got this support trend line that's been tested on several different occasions. We can see that the prices have come down to this trend line on at least 5 different occasions to test it as support and bounce back to the upside. And so we can look at this as a potential right angled triangle. Now, of course, what we want to be looking for is as prices start to travel up to this resistance once again, if we start to see a breakout to the upside here on Zebec. And when I say breakout, what we want to see are large green candles, something of this size, for example, penetrating above this upper resistance line. If that does occur, we could be looking at a very nice shorter term target here on Zebec of the distance between the first test of support down here to the resistance up here We drag that to wherever we see a breakout. Let's say that happens in a few days' time. And guys, you can see that essentially gives Zebec the motive to get to that 1 cent region, that massive, massive psychological level. Now, I do think if we get to that region, that's going to be quite a strong resistance for us for quite a while. It's like 100K Bitcoin. There could be quite a selling pressure at that 1 cent region. So if you are a really short-term holder, in my opinion, that would be a good place to take some profits if we see a breakout to the upside. Now, of course, if you are looking for a great place to buy or trade any ZBEC, then look no further than the MEX exchange. This is the exchange that I use for all my trading because they have some of the lowest fees. They don't require KYC. And for a limited time only, thank you so much for supporting. This is the bullish scenario that I'm seeing here with this right angle triangle. Of course, is a very short-term thing. If we break out to the upside, we could see 1 cent happen within the next few days. Now, of course, my stance here on ZBEC in the shorter term is still bullish. At the end of the day, we are in a very nice bullish trend, but I also want to cover a potential bearish scenario with you guys, just so that you guys are well prepared. Now, of course, the price, as you can see, has come up to a very similar level on two separate occasions. When this happens, we could also look at this as a potential double top pattern. Now, this would be a bearish pattern, and this would be confirmed, guys, if the prices on ZBEC fall below roughly 0.53 cents. So essentially where this support resistance line is on ZBEC. If we fall below this line here, that would confirm this double top pattern, and we would see the prices fall quite a bit lower, in my opinion, to at least 0.37 cents. So we still got quite a bit of a buffer before that happens. 0.53 is where it's at. If we fall down below there, then that could start us on a shorter term bearish trend here on ZBEC. So we want to avoid that if we want to remain bullish. Now, if we head over to the longer term, so I'm talking throughout the rest of 2025, things get even more bullish in my opinion. And of course, that 1 cent region was my shorter term target. What we've seen, however, on the longer term since 2024 has been this massive accumulation period. So let's get rid of those shorter term annotations. What we've seen is this upper resistance here and this lower support down here. And essentially for the past year, ZBEC has been locked in this zone. There's been a lot of accumulation within this period. And recently on the 22nd of May, we saw a breakout to the upside. Now, here on ZBEC, we were looking at an initial price target of this distance here. Of course, if I drag that to where we saw the breakout, we can see that the first price target from this accumulation zone that we've seen on here on ZBEC has been hit. But since the momentum is so strong, we know that the momentum is strong because we can see on the MACD, we're seeing a massive, massive peak here. We're seeing momentum like we've never seen before. This could be enough, in my opinion, to take ZBEC even higher. Now, of course, if we continue to see strong momentum here on ZBEC, then I do think that the next target from this accumulation period that we have seen here on ZBEC is this level here at roughly 2 cents. Of course, from where the prices are right now, that's roughly 220% in the upwards direction. So this is one potential longer term target that we could look forward to. This is a result of 1 year's worth of accumulation here on the ZBEC price. On top of that as well, I use the fib levels here a lot to predict where the price of ZBEC is going to be going. Of course, we know that ZBEC really does like these fib levels. If you have a look at the chart, for example, the prices have literally come up to this 1.41 fib here and tested it as a resistance on its way up. So we know ZBEC loves these fib levels. And so essentially, if ZBEC is able to break out and post a new all-time high here, then I think the next immediate fib level is lying here at 0.93 cents. That's the 1.618 fib. Beyond that, we've got these two upper fib levels here. The 2 fib is telling us we could hit 1.7 cents. The main target for me in 2025 at the moment is this 2.618 fib, the next natural level above this 2 fib here, and that sits at 4.7 cents. Now, of course, if Zebec is able to remain bullish, if we see this momentum carry on throughout 2025, we could see Zebec, in my opinion, to an optimistic target there of 10 cents. Now, just like I said with 1 cent, I think 10 cents is going to be a big psychological level. So if the prices are able to continue going up, just like $100,000 Bitcoin, we would see a lot of selling pressure at that level. And that could make a meaningful top here on Zebec if we are able to if we are able to if we are able to shoot past 4.6 cents. So those two are my upper price targets here for Zebec in 2025. 4.6 cents.
I just wanted to see his price prediction. He's saying possibly 10 cents. I think we talked about that earlier. I don't get a lot of stock in technical analysis because it's just a framework, right? It could be right, but it could be off, right? Like who predicted Bitcoin to be at 106,000, right? And now people are talking about 150 by the end of the year, maybe 200,000. I mean, this is just the fib levels and possible. I think if ZBIC uh, goes up, right, and more people FOMO in, it can go past 10 cents, right? But I'm thinking somewhere probably between 10 and 50 cents, and 10 cents would be real good for me. 50 cents would be even better. $1 would be crazy astronomical. I mean, it's possible though, right? Because who thought Bitcoin was going to get to where it is? Let's see what Lee's talking about.
I think the future could look so bright because beyond ZBCN hypothetically going to the price of 10 cents, which is my price target for it, I do believe that there are some real deal markets that Zebec is beginning to be focused on, which I
So even Lee's thinking 10 cents. So I guess 10 cents would be the lower barrier point, right? Pretty much we can assume it's going to get over 10 cents, right? And I'm thinking it's going to get somewhere between 10 and 50. If it pushes 50 cents, I would be shocked, but would not be floored. If it hit $1, I would be floored. But I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying the likelihood is really slim. And also taking into consideration, once the price starts pumping, people who got in at a micro level or lower, right? They're going to take the money and run at 10 cents. So that's going to also pull it back, right? There's going to be a small segment of people that's going to take profit, which will keep the price from getting too crazy. Let's see what Lee's talking about.
think is absolutely amazing, even though nothing I say is financial advice. And I think a lot of these new sectors are really coming from Zebec's recent acquisition of Science Card UK, because allegedly through this, they're going to be focused on something called decentralized science. Now, why is this amazing? It's because if we take a look at this article right here, back in November of 2024, to be exact, it's November 25th, actually. So it's still kind of a while back ago, but I still think it's relevant nonetheless, because this title, again, according to the Cointelegraph, it said how decentralized science is likely like early DeFi in 2019. And we got to think about this, right? When it comes to DeFi, we all know how massive that was. In 2021, it gained so much attention, so much hype. However, a lot of the groundwork, I would say, was done beforehand, in a sense that it was kind of like building and then it kind of just really gained a lot of attention that year. But even besides that point, could decentralized science be the next quote unquote DeFi, right? Or should I say decentralized finance? Maybe. So when I take a look at Zebec, again, by being focused on that market, quite essentially through acquiring Science Card UK, that really showcases their forward-thinking mindset. They're even being focused on markets that haven't really taken off yet, but could maybe one day do take off. Or should I say, take off, right? So then the way I view it is that Zebec, they have this forward-thinking mindset. This is how of a genius I think their team is. Not to mention as well, through this, right? Zebec is kind of entering the education market as well, in my opinion, through Science Card UK. Now, why is this amazing? It's because if we take a look at just in the US, I'm not talking about worldwide, right? Again, just in the US, the education market was worth nearly $1.5 trillion in 2021, according to something called Facts and Factors. So I think this is very fantastic. I think when it comes to being focused on education, that's a smart move. When it comes to Zebec, when it comes to being focused on decentralized science, even though not many people have really kind of thought about that, I still think it's genius nonetheless. Because oftentimes when people take a look at Zebec, they think how, oh, when it comes to the Zebec network, it's very amazing for the world of global trade and finance and the payments market. And they take a look at how Zebec's focused on AI-based PayFi. They take a look at how it's focused on payrolls, focused on, RWAs, right? Real world assets. When people take a look at this, they think, okay, this is really good. But really, Zebec, while other projects out there might just quit and just give up in a sense that they don't really want to expand their sectors, Zebec is expanding. This is the type of mindset I like because it showcases that they're not like, just kind of stuck in their ways and not really wanting to develop and build. And I think really, when we take a look at Zebec's partnerships, it really does highlight why something like this is very fantastic. Because keep in mind, before all this kind of like, commotion that we see as of right now when it comes to ZBCN doing very well, before all that, we have to remember that Circle, which is the creator of USDC, they're an investor in Zebec. Not to mention Solana Ventures is also an investor in Zebec, at least allegedly. So we got to think about that. This stuff happened before ZBCN became massive. And I talked about this, right? I said that, you know what? Maybe when they believe in a project, I'm not going to automatically believe in it. But then it shows that they at least maybe see something because they're not really just going to want to invest in something that they think doesn't have a bright future, at least I would assume. Not to mention, Zebec has partners with, or should I say partnerships, right? With MasterCard, allegedly, Visa, Bank of America, JP Morgan. And this is just to name a few. But then I'm just saying, imagine if a project can have partnerships like that and it doesn't have like a multi-billion-dollar market cap type of thing, right, going on. The way to take a look at it is that that's very impressive. It showcases that the fundamentals were so good that it was able to allow these large entities to overlook the fact that the market cap was pretty low. That is something that truly, I think, showcases how special Zebec is. But as of right now, it's just a waiting game because even though ZBCN has done very well, keep in mind 10 cents is still around a 13x from here. It's becoming more believable as of right now than way before, right? But then I'm just saying, keep in mind, when it comes to altcoins, usually as a worst case scenario, they typically peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. So 18 months from the last Bitcoin halving event would actually mean around October this year. Maybe it might not be that much time longer, I would assume. Now, it would only really just depend on what really goes on with the market, but just take a look at how well ZBCN is doing right now. I mean, man, if that Bitcoin dominance drops, and let's say we see that fully fledged type of altcoin season, much like what we saw back in 2021, but maybe this time a lot better, man, 10 cents even at that point may seem a little bit bearish, but you know what? I'm not going to change my 10-cent prediction, at least in theory, because some people out there say I should change it. But here's the thing. The way I take a look at it is that it's better for me to believe in a realistic scenario than imagine something unrealistic and then it never reaches it. You know what I mean? I'd rather have a target here and then the result is exceeding it as opposed to, thinking that something is going to be like all the way up here or whatever, and then the result is just like, all the way down here. I don't want to do that. Personally for me, I would much rather believe in something that is a little bit more realistic, especially when taking a look at just the whole space overall. But again, I'm just going to stay patient, acquire, hold, and I just.
Yeah, I kind of agree with him on that. I'd rather shoot for the moon and hit the stars than to shoot for the sun and don't get off the ground, right? So that being said, let me know what you guys think about that. And let's see what this GameStop Zebec Network is talking about with Grow Rich and Happy.
Today's message. We must strive to be the evidence that waiting on God is never wasted. Welcome back, all my free thinkers, to Grow Rich, Grow Happy, that place where we follow those breadcrumbs to wealth. Guys, I'm always talking about.
Okay, let me check this real quick. This is a short video. See what this guy's talking about. And I wanted to see, where did wealth management go, my main man? Our money and I. Let me see this guy. Okay, so we'll come back to. Let me see. Put this over here. That's not what we wanted to do. Yeah, put this over here.
Of like 0.0052 for me to consider to realize that we're still in
Taking a
business
look at
here. So as long as it remains above this previous resistance right here, we're still looking okay. But typically when something gets rejected twice at
Okay, let me go back. Check out this guy real quick. Seems to be a quick video. What the heck? Okay, what's going on here?
Zebec Network on the live stream, keeping you guys updated as always. So obviously we had a monster move up. My target here at 209 is still valid on the upside, and that is, parabolic move, extremely high. I mean, if you had bought this low, to that area is around a 12x on its own, and then Moonboy target, bull run target for Zebec is around 4.5 cents. That would be the next area of resistance. However, keep in mind that it does need to stay over crucial areas of support, which as of right now, given that this was the top, would be 2041 and then 2029. As long as it stays over this level, the targets on the upside are still valid. At any point, if we do fall below these levels, then I'd say the top is in and we are going to get a bigger capitulation back down. I will keep you updated as always. None of this is financial advice.
Definitely not financial advice. And he said above the 004. Looks like we are still in the 005. Check out the 5 minute. Yeah, still the 005 came down, but popped back up, and we're building volume still pretty good on the 5 minute chart and on the 15-minute chart and on the 45-minute chart. We're losing some volume, but the RSI is coming back down. So let me see where this guy go. We saw that. Gonna come back to this guy. We saw this. We saw Lee. There we go. Money and me. Then we'll come back
So
to.
I've got a lot to talk about today, from airdrops to people creating ZBCN meme coins to price action. This is definitely a video you guys don't want to miss. But remember, nothing here is financial advice. I can always be wrong. So make sure you guys do your own research. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you do enjoy today's content. Now, before I get into the video, if you're looking for a great crypto exchange, make sure you check out my link to BTCC. You get 10% bonus on first time deposits, extra bonuses up to $10,000, no VPN, no KYC. If you're someone that trades using leverage, you get to use up to 500x leverage. The link is going to be in my description down below for anyone that is interested. But getting into the video here, if we kick things off by taking a look at the crypto bubbles, we can actually see that it's another red day. So that's what, 4 or 5 days in a row where most of these altcoins, at least the ones in the top 100, just isn't really making people all that much money. You see the 1, 2 here and there that sometimes make a little bit of a rally, but for the most part, the top 100 coins haven't really performing that well over the last week. If we check out the fear and greed index, we can actually see that we've moved back into greed. Yesterday we're sitting at 56 greed, and a couple days before that we're actually sitting at neutral. I think it was on Saturday this thing was back into neutral, but now it's back into greed, and Bitcoin, as I'm recording this video, is somewhere around 104,000. Okay, so it's just crazy to see Bitcoin 104,000, but these altcoins just continue to bleed out. But let's get into some very interesting stuff here. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about is this, because a lot of people have been talking about it. Okay, actually, I'll read this entire X post because there's another thing that needs to be mentioned. So according to the Moonshot app, the version of ZBCN on there was created a year ago and is not verified. The 2-bit hustlers and scammers are active now more than ever. Buy Zebec token from Uphold. It's a verified exchange, and there is a airdrop coming. Stay safe. Now, the reason why I read this entire thing is because I know a lot of investors was talking about Moonshot yesterday and how it just got listed on Moonshot. So this post was just giving people a little bit of a warning. Okay. But it also mentioned this airdrop. And I noticed also that people have been talking about this airdrop on Uphold. Now, I don't have Uphold, but anyone that does have it, because I looked a little bit into it, I came across this Reddit post right here. So it says to qualify, you must hold $500 worth of ZBCN in your Solana wallet and a funded Zebec Silver card. Please connect your wallet. All right, so that's how you apparently get the airdrop. But the thing is, we don't have enough information yet on it, how everything is going to go about, how much ZBCN is going to be distributed. Not really much information there. But yeah, something cool for anyone that's looking to get some free ZBCN. It looks like you can get some. You could potentially get a airdrop from Uphold, I think sometime this month, actually. Okay, so that's cool. Now let's get into some more news here, and I want to talk about this. So this was posted. So warning, do not buy this ZBCN meme coin. This guy just rug pulled $500,000. So this meme coin was created, I believe, like 24 hours ago. And typically, this is what happens when a coin has been performing super well. It's got a lot of hype around it. All of a sudden, someone's going to create a meme coin. It's always like that, and it just never seems to fail. And this time was no different with ZBCN, right? If we check out this meme coin here, and by the way, I'm not telling anyone to buy this meme coin. The reason or how this one came to my attention was it was posted in the Discord area over on Patreon, right? There's going to be a link if you guys want to join my Patreon down below. But yeah, it was posted, and I was asked this question, and what do I think about this ZBCN meme coin that was created? And I took one look at it, and I was like, oh, it's definitely super, super high risk. But hey, some people is for it. Me personally, I'm staying out of this one. I did come across a couple X posts, and I did see a couple people say they put $200 into it and it got completely wiped out. Then I saw one or two other posts, people saying that they made money. So it's just like the meme coin space. It's very, very high risk. But you can see here when this thing was created all the way down here at the bottom. So this was created on June 1st. Wow. Right. And this thing went all the way up to $1.66 million market cap. Right now it's sitting at 819,000. People are typically attracted to just high risk stuff. And this is why, this meme coin did so well in such a short amount of time. Where's it going to go from here? I have absolutely no idea. But if you check out this Twitter post right here, this person says that the ZBCN meme coin is back up. So all the people in the comment section saying it's a rug pull blocked you from a 6,000% gain. So that's very, very interesting. I'll leave that up to you guys to decide whether or not you believe that the meme coin is a rug pull. But regardless, it's all good. We seem to continue to be in a meme coin cycle. And yeah, it is what it is. Now let's get into what's going on with the price action with ZBCN, because that's what most of us came here for. Okay. So right now, the price is currently at 0.00588. Yesterday, it actually retested the all-time highs, which I'm going to pull up the actual charts in just a second. But the current market cap right now is 465 million. The volume on the day, it's up like 10%, nothing crazy, right? We come down here, we can still see it's missing those two big players of a exchange listing like Binance and Coinbase. Again, it might happen this year, it might not. No one actually knows, but as long as the hype remains, I don't see why not, right? A lot of people still bullish over here on ZBCN. Let's see, ZBCN, the Zebec Party Shark says he's bullish on ZBCN as he enjoys margarita. Okay, cool. Now let's take a look here at the chart. So we're still in this bullish momentum that was fired all the way back here on May 19th on this indicator. You can find it down below if you're interested. It's called Trade Assist. Let you know when's a good time to buy and sell crypto. But we can see that ever since ZBCN went on this nice run all the way up to, where did it reach? Like 0.0070 all the way up here, right? At its peak. It came down, and yesterday it retested those levels and it got rejected again. So it's pretty obvious that this is now going to be a very tough resistance area to break through. If we look at the recent history with this run-up, we can actually see that this is the very first time it actually made a new all-time high, came down, retested the high, and failed. Because now we can actually see 4 4 candles, 4 red days straight, right? 4 red candles back to back. But yeah, we're going to see how this thing performs moving forward, but it does need to remain above like 0.0052 for me to consider to realize that we're still in business here. So as long as it remains above this previous resistance right here, we're still looking okay. But typically when something gets rejected twice at resistance, that could indicate a potential reversal to retest a previous resistance area. And yeah, it could be coming down to 0.0052 around that area. And that's going to have to hold for this trend to continue, in my personal opinion. Again, remember, nothing here is financial advice. I can always be wrong, but I'm just letting you guys know what I see on the charts. We have already witnessed this massive run up on ZBCN, and I kept saying there needed to be some sort of cool off period, but there was never. We didn't really experience a real cool off period. What we experienced was it cooled off for 24 hours and then made a new all-time high, cool off for 24 hours, made a new all-time high. So right now it does look like things are cooling down just a little bit, and this is why I always try to tell you guys, try to catch these things on the dip, try to get a better price, a better deal than the last person that brought these things at the all-time highs, right? But regardless, if you guys have been following me for the last couple of months, most of you should be in nice profits on ZBCN, even with the pullback. It's up to you whether or not you want to take profits or not. If you've been following my channel for a long while, you already know how I go about taking profits and what my thoughts are around it. I always say stick to your trading strategy, your trade.
So shout out to Money and Me. And like I was saying earlier, he did mention the same thing. At some point, it's got to cool off, right? If it's an oversold territory, or if it's been continuing to shoot up, at some point it has to slow down and stop so the action can come down, people sell off, and then they can begin buying again and push the price back up. So let's see, what is this? Let's see what Get Rich Grow Happy's talking about with this GameStop. I'm actually pretty interested in that, and then we'll shut it down for the evening. Let me know what you guys think about it so far. If you got any questions about ZBCN or any comments, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and super chat your main man BTM Crypto News Network. Just trying to keep the lights on. But go ahead and oh wow, East Detroit. That's weird. The east side. But go ahead and don't forget to super chat your main man. Let's see what he has to say.
GameStop. I'm always making a comparison between GameStop and what's going on with Zebec. Now, it dawned on me that many of you might not know the story of GameStop. So in this video, I want to show you the power of community and show you why we are so much stronger people together than we could ever be apart. And I'm going to use the story of GameStop to illustrate that point. Guys, this is going to be a good one. And how do you like what's going on with Zebec right now? This is going to further my point. And heads up, I got another video coming after this one on Zebec, as I want to cover some things that went on today. But this one is going to be to reel everybody in. Guys, this is your first time here to Grow Rich, Grow Happy. I guarantee it's not by accident. I don't believe in accidents. You're here for something. Everybody needs something different in life. I hope what brought you here is maybe a friend, a family member, or just God himself. This platform is all about mind shift. And that mind shift is going to get you to your financial glory. I promise you that. But you first have to get your mind right. And here we do a little bit of both. I'm Mr. Foresight, and it is my goal to use the vehicle of crypto to get everyone to that place, that destination that they've been longing to get to. And we do it by way of crypto, but through the vehicle of crypto, we're going to set things right that was misaligned in your life. If this sounds like a platform, because we call ourselves the free thinkers, if this sounds like someplace you can rock with, by all means, you're welcome to stay. Smash that like button. Give me a sub, hit that bell notification so that you don't miss a video. Guys, man, Zebec. Oh my goodness, it is melting faces. And guys, make sure it don't melt yours by waking up and it's gone. Get you a cold storage wallet or any kind of cold storage wallet to protect your crypto. I offer a 10% discount down below on Tangem wallets. A lot of you been filing in and taking advantage of that, guys. Lock up your crypto so that you don't wake up and lose it. The 10% discount down below does go to support the channel. I thank you humbly in advance. Now, let's kick this off, guys. So let's talk about GameStop and let's talk about what's going on with Zebec right now. There's a lot of people, and I've seen it around. Some people are shorting, and that's what I call it. Even though it's not the technical term for it, we're going to get into that. Some people I feel like are shorting this whole Zebec rise. Some people are taking profits, but a lot of people, not a lot, but some people are taking all of their money and they're moving into other assets. And that's sadly mistaken because a lot of those people are going to come right back because what they thought was a decline is just gaining ground. And then it's shooting back up. That's what we're seeing right now. And it's very familiar to me as I remember GameStop very well. Guys, I'm going to flash a movie up here, and your homework assignment for this weekend or whenever you want to do it is watch the GameStop story. It's called Dumb Money, and it's extremely funny, but it shows you the power of community and belief, which I believe can be tied to what's going on with Zebec right now. A little bit about GameStop. Now, guys, GameStop back in 2020, now we're talking about right at the pandemic, around 2020, GameStop was on a decline. It was practically going out of business. And you had hedge funds that was shorting GameStop. They were making their money. They was getting in, jumping right out, making their money. And so GameStop was ranging between $4 and $17, and it was on its way to obscurity. It was just going to decline. Well, it was terrible. I'm not gonna lie, it was terrible. But let me tell you the ending of that story first, because the ending of that story is going to actually keep you engaged on this. Keep this in mind now. There was no reason for anyone to really get into GameStop as it wasn't moving anywhere. You had the pandemic, but you had a lot of things going on with the pandemic. I'm going to get on with that. So let's just say GameStop went from a $2 billion valuation to a $24 billion valuation in just 24 days, guys. And that's for a price. Let's just say it started at $17 and it stopped at $483. Now, imagine if you would have invested in GameStop. I know people who invested in GameStop back then and they made buku money. But someone looking at that and say, oh, that's an isolated thing. It just happened. It's just luck. It wasn't luck. Just like what's going on with Zebec is not luck. So let me tell you what happened around then. Those of you who are familiar with this story, you're going to know this name very well that I'm going to call out. It is called Wall Street Bets. They were a group of ruffians and based on Reddit, and they were a bunch of young, they were a mixed group of young and inexperienced investors and maybe a few mediocre investors out there and the reason it's called Wall Street Bets is because they were willing to just jump in and lose their behinds on bets because they was willing to just say, I'm throw it all away. I'm going to make this bet on something that everybody's going to call me a fool on. Now, this is why they was called Wall Street Bets. Well, during that age, these people, like I say, they were known for being reckless. So they kind of gravitated to GameStop because in their minds, they wanted to stick it to the hedge funds. They had a mission. Like I always tell you guys here on Grow Rich, Grow Happy, we're stronger together than apart. So these guys got together and they said, we're going to stick it to these hedge funds. These hedge funds are out here. They're out here sticking it to the little guy. They're shorting, they're making all this money at the detriment of GameStop company. So around this time, guys, a guy, and this is why I say watch that movie, a guy named Keith Gill. I'm not going to give his screen name because, you know, it has curse words. I try to limit the curse words that I say on this channel, as I understand that all ages might tune into this channel. But anyway, he sort of like us, the community, guys. And let me first liken Wall Street Bets. Today, our Wall Street Bets is X, and our GameStop is Zebec Network, except a little bit different. Well, Keith Gill, like a lot of us influencers and the people that watch this channel, he identified GameStop as being undervalued, and he saw an opportunity. Like all of us here, we see an opportunity with Zebec. So he didn't just see this opportunity, he actually acted on it by orchestrating what is called a short squeeze. And this is crazy, because what a short squeeze is, and you're going to realize this now with what's going on with Zebec, is when it's extraordinary. Actually, it's a phenomenon when a price of a stock shoots up so fast and so high that the people that shorted that, kind of like the people in Zebec that are selling too soon, they have to get back in. They shorted the stock. Now they got to jump back in just so they can cover their losses. So he identified GameStop as one of those opportunities. Let me tell you something. He made buku money, but as he did that, it kind of united the community. You had the Wall Street Bets, they were doing the same thing, and everybody knew who this guy was. He was kind of like the leader of the community, because he recognized this opportunity. And while everyone was selling, his wife even came to him and was like, maybe we should sell. This guy was up, from what I understand, maybe 40, 50 million, and he still did not sell. He didn't sell because, and when they asked him, they said, why do you believe, what is it with GameStop? He said,
support the right of individuals to send a message based on how they invest. As for me, I like the stock.
I just love the stock. I think it's a good deal, undervalued. And I see that what's going on right now with Zebec, when you got the FUD and different things that's going on, everyone in the Zebec community, we're all sticking together like, I don't care what you say. This is it's a good play. Except we don't really need a lot of convincing, because Zebec is not declining. It's elevating. We're watching it happen in real time, guys. This thing is going crazy. Now, some other things that played into the elevation of what happened with GameStop is around this time, I told you, it was the pandemic. What was happening during the pandemic? You had retail was going crazy. A lot of people were stuck at home, but what were they getting? They were getting stimulus checks. But the smart people, I'm telling you something, Robinhood around this time, they actually grew substantially, because you had people getting these stimulus checks that kept coming. And a lot of YouTubers actually started around the pandemic. A lot of people started businesses around the pandemic using their stimulus checks because they were stuck at home. So the smart money, what they did with them stimulus checks, a lot of them heard the rumors of GameStop. They seen the movement, and what did they do? They said, I'm getting in on this. So more money flowed into GameStop. How does that relate to today? We look at where crypto is today, guys. You look at us getting a pro crypto president. We got all of these things that's building up the crypto community right now. And we have a project, and which has a product in Zebec that doesn't need a whole lot of fluff. It's one of those things that's easy to understand. You tell someone this is going to revive payroll, but people are going to be paid around the clock. How much convincing does that take to explain to somebody? This is one that I borrowed this from Dr. Martin. On a 6th floor elevator ride, you can explain Zebec to someone, and by the top of the ride, they say, you know what? I'm going to get in on that. So what we're seeing now? We're seeing a lot of hype that's going on, but I don't really call it hype as I do people are realizing that this is something that the proof is in the pudding. It's right there. Everybody can see the intrinsic value of this particular play. And of course, when you see stuff like this, I look at it like us sticking it almost to all of these bad players that are out there in crypto. We're sticking it to these silos of tribal people. I don't look at the Zebec community as being tribal, not one bit. We're not tribal. We just see something that everyone can use, everyone. And here's my call to you guys. We have a lot of tribes in crypto, but guys, I implore you to step out of your tribe. Look at this opportunity that is going on right now and know this is not financial advice. Do your research. This is one of those plays where we kind of throw around, you know, the word, the phrase, do your own research. But this is one of those phrases where you can say, do your own research, and you can be confident that if someone go and they do their own research and something like a Zebec, and they come back and say, oh, it's a scam, then clearly they did not do their own research. They did not want to like this project. And I think if you like humanity and you like something that can uplift communities, it can help people who are struggling from paycheck to paycheck, you'll pick up that same torch that the Zebec community has picked up, sort of like Wall Street bets, and we'll stick it to these major players in the game that are coming in. Yes, there's a lot of money, big money, institutional money is coming in, but we'll stick it to those people that try to rug pull these projects, and we'll stick it to those maybe in our own bloodlines that said we wouldn't amount to anything, and the people I really want to stick it to is those that said we were wasting our time in crypto. Well, we got something now, guys, that we're in early on, similar to the movement that XRP had early on. We're seeing it right now.
On that note, I do agree with him 1,000%. I definitely want to stick it to all the people who said crypto's gonna fail or crypto's not working or why are you in crypto, right? I mean, you already made a pretty decent amount, but if Zebec goes what Zebec's gonna do, right? I think it's going to be very positive for everyone holding, especially you guys that got in early, right? Because at this price point, where are we? And it is down, right? Down 16%. Probably going to keep going down 17%. It's probably going to go down where we at the 0.005 on the 5 minute. Looks like the volume's taken away. So it's probably going to go down maybe to that 0.049. I think it's going to hit the 0.049 and bounce back up all the way to uh, 0.007 or 0.007.5, right? It has to come down for us to pick it up. It's been running, guys. So at some point, like I tell everyone, it's got to come down, right? It can't keep running and running and running and running. It's got to slow down at some point. What is this guy talking about? And this is the last.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Cesar, and we are talking about ZBCN Zebec today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. All right, here we are. Here we are on this, the 2nd of June, sitting at about $0.069 with 22 hours, 24 minutes left in the day. Closing yesterday to the upside, 9%, and starting off the day today with a green foot, right? We still have this bearish divergence in play with the RSI here. High here, lower high there, high here, higher high there. That is bearish divergence. We have not resolved that yet. It's very possible that this was the resolution in itself, but most of the time, technically, like 90% of the time or more, you would actually pull back to where the divergence formed, where it first started, and even through that a little bit, right? Here, closing another day above this does not absolve us of the divergence. It just extends it potentially. If today closes red, it'll extend it. Green high here, lower high here, and then it would just be another lower high amidst two higher highs. That's double bearish divergence actually. So unless today closes green, it's very likely that you do have double bearish divergence presented on the charts. You know, maybe if you run all the way up here and then you come back down and close here, technically you still are green closing the day. Maybe that would still give you this look of double bearish divergence. But for now, I'm assuming today's going to close red. Why do I assume today's going to close red? Why do I assume that the price is going to go down from here? Because I hate you, ZBCN. I hate everybody who holds it, and I want to see everybody lose money. That's not why. That's not why. I think you're going to go down. I mean, simply put, because you moved up 10x in a month. A little bit over a month, granted, but still, you did a 10x in a very short amount of time. I think you're going to go down because no matter what exchange we're looking at, if you're looking at KuCoin, right, and you notice this volume here, whether you're on KuCoin, whether you're on OKX, whether you're on HTX, whether you're on MEXC, whether you're on BitGet, whether you're on the Binance Perps, wherever, let's see, where are we at here? Binance, isn't it? Hold on. Don't we have Binance Perps? Am I thinking of something else? Maybe I'm thinking of something. I thought it was, but maybe not. Anyways, regardless of what you're looking at it on, I'll just use maybe it's the Bybit Perps that I was thinking. There's no volume here. You're losing volume. You with this last move, you can tell that you're getting exhausted, right? Look at this move in comparison to this move, right? Similar angle of approach, but a lot less movement overall, a lot less volume overall. Here you are trying to break through the veil now, and you have no volume present at all, no matter what chart you're looking at. I don't care if it's perps or if it's spot. It's just low volume right here, and you have bearish divergence on the 4-hour time frame as well. And you're in an area where you might expect to reject the overbought zone. In an area that you found support, might you reject it here? It's very, very possible, and I think you will. You're also getting set up, if you look at the charts, for a double top scenario here. This is just picture perfect, and I really do think, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but we're looking for a top here. It's possible. It is possible that you continue to run higher, and if that happens, that's fine. Good job. I hope that it keeps running higher. I hope I'm wrong, but just looking at the technicals here, I'd be very surprised. Volume's coming in a little bit relative to the 1-hour time frame, but it's just not. It's nothing comparable to what you saw here with these prior run-ups, right? Granted, this move is pretty new still. It's just begun, so let's see how it develops. But I'm not optimistic, right? The 1-hour RSI does look bullish for now. The 4-hour looks to be bearishly set up. The daily looks to be bearishly set up. I'm going to go with the bearish setup, man. I think that it's going to go down. If we look at this from a high to a low, you're still at the top end of this 1886200 area. Typically, whenever you get to this zone and you find resistance, you pull back. You do go to the 1414. That is at the 0034. Okay, 0034 is the target. If not there, at a bare minimum 0043 is the target. Okay, that would be my expectation. It's extremely uncommon, and I'm not saying that anything else can't happen. I mean, maybe we move down here, we find support somewhere in between the 1886 and the golden ratio, but that's extremely uncommon. The likelihood is that we at least go here, if not most likely go here. This right now is the most likely target, 00342. Could we go lower? Sure. Could we not drop that low? Sure, but that's the most likely target. Okay, how long is it going to take to establish itself and go down? Well, typically, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but typically with movements like this, in my experience, it's going to be a little while. It's going to take some time. You're not just going to move down fast and then move back up. You're probably going to move down very, very slow. There'll be moments where it's fast, and then you eat it up, and then you slowly get down to that area, and then it's like you get a double bottom. Sorry, let me draw this again. Right, really fast, then you come down, then it's like slowly down to this area. Then it's like you have a double bottom, but the reaction isn't as strong here, and then inevitably you just break through, and it's overall a slow bleed down to the areas that we're looking for. That's kind of what my expectation would be. So while you moved up over about a month's time here, I would think that you probably consolidate, not for a month's time, but at least a couple of weeks, if not at least a week, right? It depends. A week's pretty short amount of time, but I would expect at least a week or two of consolidation, if not more. It could be the whole month of June, but I doubt it. I think by the end of June, ZBCN will be on its way to new highs, new all time highs. It'll be continuing this rally and moving to significantly higher prices. Ultimately, I really wouldn't be surprised if this move took you all the way up to about 5 cents. Is that the right proper target? 4 to 5 cents, somewhere in that area. Let me look at this high to low real quick. Oh, that was not the proper high. Let's get you on this high to low. Come on now, where are you at? There we go. High to low. There's a solid possibility of you finding resistance somewhere between about 1.3 to 1.8 cents. But if you get above there, I don't think you're stopping until you see about 3 cents to 5 cents, something in that area. Yeah. But I mean, maybe higher, man. Honestly, maybe higher. Maybe you do run all the way up to 10 cents at some point in July. It's very possible. You've moved up 10x already. That'd be a move that's over a 100x. But we've seen crazy things like this happen in crypto, man. I'm not kidding. It could really happen. 10 cents is a nice psychological level for resistance. You really could see that. But if I'm keeping my feet on the ground, even with how bullish this thing is, I would more likely anticipate that we stop somewhere around 5 cents at the greatest, which would give you like a 6.7x from here. And I genuinely don't think that you stop anywhere. I want to say below 3 cents, but maybe you stop at like 2.9 cents. I think you have another 4 to 6x to go, if not more. But first, a little pullback. So all these expectations will only increase as you go lower in the price, right? That 4x move from here, if you go to where I think you're going to go in the price, if you pull back to the area that I think, which is 0034, just around that area, that 4x turns into an 8.5x, right? So opportunities still await with this thing, right? And there's probably not a financial advisor. There's probably going to be a lot of tradable moments over the coming days and over the coming weeks, even, right? Things like this, whenever they move up in a pretty straight line, they don't just move down in a very straight line, right? That'd be too easy. They're going to psych you out. They're going to move down fast, and then it's going to come up, make you think that it's going back up, and then it's going to slowly move down, and then it'll come up. It's going to be a volatile, stagnant, boring kind of slow bleed to the downside with moments of excitement. That's my expectation. But I got nothing else to say, guys. Kind of like this, right? Like you moved up good here, and then whenever you moved down, notice how long it took. You took way more time to move down just this much of the move, right? You took way less time here just to move up that whole move, and then eventually you had your fast little moment of capitulation. But all I'm trying to say here is that the movements down will be slower than the movements up. All right, I've got nothing else to say. I'm expecting a double top. I bet by the time most of you watch this video, or by the time we talk about it tomorrow, this will look more like a double top, and we'll probably have some kind of look like this. I don't know. Maybe we move down a little bit faster and then we're recovering, but tomato, whatever, we're moving down. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.
Kind of like that analysis, and he is correct there. If the price action is doing extremely well, right? This is a very good looking chart. Right, you see up, pull back, went up, pulled back, and went up again. And currently it's in the pullback again. Let me see if we can look at this on the day chart. Let me see. So on the day chart, right? Okay, it's not enough detail. It's weird. Why is this showing? So if we zoom out, you can see here price action here. What is this? May 25th. It was pretty much all the way up, came down. 27th, I guess last week, pushed up again, came down, pushed up strong. Last week, a lot of announcements. People sold off, pulled back a little bit. People bought in. Now they're selling off, and you can see we're back at the 005, which about where it took off the last time. You see here, came down a little bit and took off. And if we hold this support above the 00, where is that now? Above the 004, right? I think it's going to take off again. So I do think, what's today? Monday? Tomorrow we should see, right? If we don't come down past this 004, we're off to the races again. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. I don't want to hold you all night. This is actually longer than I thought it would be. I wanted to get some perspective and kind of give you some information about the price action. But thanks for joining. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Super chat. Just trying to keep the lights on at BTM Crypto News Network. Thanks for joining. And let's see, what's tomorrow? Tuesday. I don't know if we'll do it because I wanted to do it around the afternoon, like 2-3 o'clock. But I was working on something, so I got behind. So we might be able to. What's tomorrow? It look like some meetings as well. Tuesday. You might be able to run at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Or you guys want to do at an evening? Let me know in the comments. I'm shutting it down for the evening. Remember to be yourself. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be weird. Just be you, right? And as always, stay dangerous. It's your main man, BTM, signing out. And let's get back to the money, guys. Miner out.